If I told you that a simple choice at the dinner table could mean the difference between a foggy mind and a sharp, focused brain after a stroke, would you believe me? Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke, and thousands of families are suddenly faced with the fear of long-term brain damage. What's even more striking is how recovery can vary so widely. Some people regain their strength quickly, while others struggle for years. But here's the hopeful truth. Certain everyday foods, often overlooked in the grocery aisle, hold the power to protect brain cells and even support healing after such a life-changing event. Let me tell you about Mr. Harris, 68 years old, who had a stroke 2 years ago. His doctors warned that his memory might never fully recover. But when his daughter began adding a few special foods into his daily meals, something remarkable happened. Slowly, he started remembering names, focusing better, and even returned to his weekly chess club with renewed confidence. His progress wasn't luck. It was the science of nutrition, working quietly in his favor. Before I share these golden foods that researchers now link to brain recovery, let me ask you, do you think food really has the power to heal the brain? Comment 1 if you believe it can, or 0 if you doubt it. Don't miss the practical health advice that could make a real difference in your life. Zucchini may look like an ordinary summer squash, but when it comes to brain recovery, it is anything but ordinary. This vegetable is loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, and potassium, all of which play a critical role in protecting brain cells from oxidative stress. After a stroke, the brain produces high levels of free radicals that can damage neurons and slow healing. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that diets rich in antioxidants, like those found in zucchini, can reduce oxidative damage by as much as 30%, giving the brain a better chance to repair itself. Potassium in zucchini also helps regulate blood pressure, keeping blood vessels stable and reducing the risk of a second stroke. Take the story of Mrs. Thompson, 72 years old, who suffered a mild stroke that left her with trouble concentrating. Her doctor recommended medication, but her granddaughter encouraged her to try adding roasted zucchini and zucchini soup into her meals 3 times a week. Within a few months, Mrs. Thompson noticed she could read her favorite novels without losing track of the story. Her blood pressure stabilized, and her energy levels improved. She was amazed that such a simple food had such a powerful effect. If you want to try this at home, replace one heavy side dish, like creamy mashed potatoes, with grilled zucchini or zucchini noodles. It's an easy swap, but it gives your brain nutrients it desperately needs during recovery. And if zucchini can protect your brain from oxidative stress, imagine what another bright-colored vegetable, like the carrot, can do for your vision and memory. Carrots are often praised for keeping our eyes sharp, but their benefits reach far beyond vision. These bright orange roots are packed with beta-carotene, lutein, and vitamin A, all of which act as powerful antioxidants. After a stroke, the brain struggles with inflammation and impaired signaling between neurons. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that diets high in carotenoids are linked to a 25% lower risk of cognitive decline. Carrots not only protect the optic nerve, which is often affected during a stroke, but also support smoother communication between brain cells, helping memory and focus return more quickly. Consider the experience of Mr. Daniels, 65 years old, who loved gardening but struggled to remember the steps of planting after his stroke. His wife began blending fresh carrot juice into his breakfast routine and adding roasted carrots to dinner. Over several months, he noticed a steady improvement in both focus and recall. He even returned to teaching his grandchildren how to grow their own vegetables, regaining not just his memory but also his confidence. If you want to bring carrots into your daily life, Try replacing sugary snacks with carrot sticks paired with hummus, or add shredded carrots into soups and stews. This small change delivers a steady supply of protective nutrients to your brain. And while carrots offer antioxidants for sharper memory, the real surprise comes from a food most people never connect with brain recovery: oysters, rich in zinc and omega-3. Second, with effects as powerful as some medications. When most people think about oysters, they imagine a fancy appetizer at a seafood restaurant, not a food that can help heal the brain. Yet oysters are among the richest natural sources of zinc, vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids. Zinc is critical for producing neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that allow brain cells to talk to each other. Vitamin B12 keeps the protective coating around nerves, called myelin, strong and functional, and omega-3, second, well documented in journals like Neurology, are linked to improved brain plasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself after injury. In fact, research shows that stroke survivors with higher omega-3 intake recover motor skills faster than those with low intake. Take Mr. Collins, 70 years old, who had a stroke that left him with slow, halting speech. His therapist worked hard with him, but progress was frustrating. Then his son introduced oysters into his diet twice a week, sometimes fresh, sometimes cooked in stews. Within months, his speech therapy sessions became more productive, words came more easily, his energy improved, and his neurologist noted clear progress. Mr. Collins often joked that the oysters gave his brain a second wind. If you're not a fan of raw oysters, you can still reap their benefits. Try canned oysters in pasta dishes, or use oyster stew as a hearty, comforting meal. Even once or twice a week can make a difference for brain repair. And while oysters may sound surprising, wait until you hear about a tiny red fruit, barberries, that not only lowers cholesterol but also boosts circulation to the brain in ways few people expect. Barberries, those small ruby red fruits, may not sit on every kitchen shelf, but their impact on the brain is worth your attention. Packed with berberine and vitamin C, barberries have been shown to reduce cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. Two major risk factors for stroke recovery and prevention. Berberine, in particular, has drawn scientific interest for its anti-inflammatory properties. A study published in Phytomedicine found that berberine can lower harmful cholesterol levels by up to 25%, while also supporting healthier blood flow to the brain. For stroke survivors, better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients delivered to healing neurons. Barberries also act as a shield against chronic inflammation, which often lingers in the brain long after a stroke. By calming these inflammatory pathways, they not only protect delicate neural tissue, but may also reduce the risk of a second stroke. Some nutrition researchers even suggest that the antioxidants in barberries rival those in blueberries, long considered the gold standard for brain health. If you're wondering how to use them, try adding dried barberries into rice dishes, sprinkling them over oatmeal, or blending them into smoothies. Their tart flavor is unique, but with a little creativity, they can become a refreshing part of your recovery routine. Do you believe a fruit this small can make such a big difference? Comment beer if you're convinced, or siffer if you're not quite sure yet. And while you're here, remember to subscribe to Health 365 so you don't miss the foods that could transform your recovery journey. And if barberries can improve circulation, just wait until you discover how currants can sharpen short-term memory and strengthen blood vessels in ways that surprise even experts. Currants may look like simple little berries, but they carry a surprising amount of power for the brain. Rich in anthocyanins and vitamin C, they help protect the lining of blood vessels and improve short-term memory. After a stroke, one of the biggest challenges is the reduced efficiency of neural signaling, the ability of brain cells to pass messages quickly. Studies from the University of Reading in the UK found that participants who consumed blackcurrant juice performed significantly better on memory and attention tests compared to those who didn't. Scientists believe the anthocyanins in currants help boost the production of dopamine, a key neurotransmitter linked to motivation and focus. Take the case of Mrs. Lopez, 69 years old, who found herself forgetting small details after her stroke, like whether she had taken her medication or where she placed her glasses. Her son suggested adding currants to her morning yogurt and baking them into whole-grain muffins. Over time, she noticed that her short-term memory improved. She began remembering conversations, staying more engaged during family gatherings, and even following her favorite television shows without losing track of the storyline. For anyone recovering at home, currants are an easy addition. They can be eaten fresh when in season, or dried for year-round use. A small handful added to oatmeal or tossed into a salad can deliver a concentrated dose of brain-protecting compounds. And while currants are remarkable for boosting memory and sharpening focus, the next fruit, elderberries, takes brain protection to another level by supporting the immune system and safeguarding the blood-brain barrier itself. Elderberries, those dark purple clusters often used in syrups and teas, are far more than a home remedy for colds. They are rich in flavonoids, zinc, and vitamin C, nutrients that together reduce neuroinflammation and support the immune system. After a stroke, inflammation within the nervous system can linger, slowing recovery and leaving the brain vulnerable to further damage. Research published in Journal of Functional Foods highlights that elderberry extracts can significantly reduce inflammatory markers while strengthening the blood-brain barrier, the protective shield that keeps harmful substances out of brain tissue. This barrier often weakens after a stroke, so keeping it strong is essential for healing. One inspiring story is that of Mr. Carter, 74 years old, who experienced frequent fatigue and confusion after his stroke. His daughter began preparing elderberry tea every evening and adding elderberry syrup to his morning oatmeal. Over several months, not only did his energy return, but his bouts of mental fog became less frequent. His neurologist noted improved resilience during follow-up visits, suggesting that his immune system and brain defenses were working more efficiently. For everyday use, elderberries can be enjoyed in teas, jams, or syrups, many of which are available at local grocery stores. Just a spoonful of elderberry syrup added to warm water or tea can become a soothing daily ritual. And if elderberries help fortify the brain's defenses, then the leafy green arugula can surprise you even more, as it improves blood flow and oxygen delivery to the brain in ways that directly support sharper thinking. Arugula, often called rocket in some parts of the world, might look like just another salad green, but it carries a unique set of nutrients that directly support brain recovery. This leafy vegetable is rich in nitrates, folate, and vitamin K. Nitrates help widen blood vessels, improving circulation and delivering more oxygen to brain cells that are desperate for fuel after a stroke. Folate plays a role in regulating homocysteine, an amino acid linked to higher risk of stroke and cognitive decline when levels are too high. Vitamin K, often associated with bone health, also helps maintain healthy blood flow in the brain. A study in hypertension found that diets high in nitrates from leafy greens improved cognitive performance by enhancing blood oxygenation. Take the case of Mrs. Reynolds, 70 years old, who often felt sluggish and struggled to keep her thoughts organized after her stroke. When her nutritionist recommended including arugula salads a few times each week, she was hesitant at first, thinking it was just rabbit food. But within a couple of months, she began noticing clearer thinking and more steady energy throughout the day. Her family remarked that she was more engaged in conversations and had fewer moments of mental fatigue. For anyone at home, arugula can be an easy addition. Toss it into a salad, layer it on a sandwich, or blend it into a smoothie with apples and bananas to soften its peppery taste. Even small amounts make a difference because of its concentrated nutrient profile. And if arugula helps blood vessels deliver oxygen more efficiently, then avocado takes things further by nourishing the very membranes that protect and stabilize brain cells. Avocado is often praised for heart health, but its benefits for the brain after a stroke are just as powerful. This creamy fruit is full of monounsaturated fats, potassium, and vitamin E, all of which help restore and protect fragile brain cells. Healthy fats from avocados strengthen the membranes of neurons, allowing them to communicate more effectively. Potassium supports steady blood pressure, a critical factor in preventing future strokes, while vitamin E acts as a strong antioxidant, guarding against the slow damage that can lead to memory decline. A study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that older adults with higher vitamin E intake scored better on cognitive performance tests, highlighting how essential this nutrient is for brain function. The best part is how easy avocado is to add into daily meals. You can mash it onto whole grain toast instead of butter, blend it into smoothies, or slice it over a fresh salad. Its mild flavor makes it versatile, while its nutrient density makes it a natural ally in recovery. Do you believe something as simple as an avocado could truly support brain healing? Comment 1 if you agree, or 0 if you're still unsure. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss practical tips that can make recovery smoother and healthier. And if avocado can nourish brain cells so effectively, imagine what marionberries, with their extraordinary antioxidant strength, can do to regenerate the brain's smallest blood vessels and sharpen memory. Marionberries, a hybrid variety of blackberry, may not be as famous as blueberries or strawberries, but when it comes to brain recovery, they are true nutritional powerhouses. These deep purple berries are loaded with anthocyanins, vitamin C, and manganese. Anthocyanins are potent antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, which is one of the biggest barriers to brain repair after a stroke. Vitamin C strengthens blood vessels, while manganese supports enzyme systems that are essential for energy production in brain cells. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry shows that diets rich in anthocyanins improve memory and concentration by enhancing communication between neurons and promoting the growth of new connections. Think of Mr. Wallace, 71 years old, who loved doing crossword puzzles but found his focus slipping after his stroke. His daughter introduced marionberries into his diet, blended into morning smoothies and sprinkled over oatmeal. Within a few months, he noticed that he could once again concentrate on puzzles for longer stretches, and his neurologist noted improvements in his short-term memory tests. These small berries became a symbol of hope in his recovery journey. If you'd like to try them yourself, marionberries can be eaten fresh when in season, or frozen and stored for year-round use. They add a sweet, tangy flavor to desserts, yogurts, or even savory sauces for meats. Just a handful a day provides a dense supply of brain-protecting compounds. And now that we've explored these golden foods for the brain, let's bring everything together with a warm reminder that true recovery is not about a single fruit or vegetable, but about a lifestyle that supports the body and mind every single day. Today you've seen how simple foods, like zucchini, carrots, oysters, and berries, can play a powerful role in brain recovery after a stroke. Remember, healing doesn't come from one food alone, but from a balanced lifestyle that nourishes your body every day. Have you or someone you love tried adding these foods into recovery meals? Share your experience below. And don't forget to like, subscribe,